What is up, Yankees universe? KOD Nation, stand up, and all you Degens, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this Thursday, January 26th. I caught myself, I was about to say Monday, but it's Thursday, January 26th edition of the Yankees Morning Brew. I am your guy, Hector. Family out there, how are we doing? I see we already got people in the chat. Ivan Manny is in the building. Salute, 3 capital S's. My man Tyler Tabbitt, I see you in there. TC Stills, the man with the plan. My guy G-Man for life. Listen, G-Man, the Giants weren't able to do anything, but hopefully this Yankees can do something for us, G-Man. FJ is in the chat. FJ, my man, Pots and Pan, how you doing? L.I. Yankee King is in the building. I see my guy L.I. Yankee King. Eric Wallace is in the building. And I got my guy Jonathan. Yankee fans, how we doing? Hold on. I'm going to do my Mad Dog Russo impersonation. Good afternoon, everybody. But Yankee fans, I'm here. We here. Today is the day of the open panel. I'll throw out the invite to the open panel around 11:30. Whoever wants to come on, we can have a great conversation. But let's start it off a little bit different. We're going to start it off with the MLB Hall of Fame, right? Scott Rowland was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and congratulations to Scott Rowland. I think he definitely deserves it. There was a lot of people talking about how it seems like the MLB Hall of Fame committee got watered down. It's not as strict as it once was, yada, yada, yada. Honestly, if you're saying Scott Rowland doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, you got to check your eyes. Because what are you talking about? Scott Rowland had one of the best seasons. I mean, not one of the best seasons. I had one of the best careers a third baseman can have. He debuted in 1996 with the Phillies. We know what he was with St. Louis. But when it comes to Scott Rowland, 8 Gold Gloves. I think he's 4th on the list or 3rd on the list when it comes to third basemen and the amount of Gold Gloves they have. One thing you could say, he's never won an MVP. He was runner up a couple of times. He finished 4th one year. So you could say that he's never won an MVP. But when you look at Scott Rowland's stats, hold on, I'm pulling them up right here so we can have the conversation. Let me pause that real quick. There we go. When you look at Scott Rowland's stats, right? Scott Rowland literally had 20, 30, 26, 26, 25, 31 home runs for a strafe of like 6 seasons. He had that. Then he had a couple injured seasons. The 2003, he bounced back. 2004 had a solid season. And then after that, it kind of tailed off, just, fighting back injuries and stuff. So if you want to say durability, you can argue durability, right? But Scott Rowland definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. He has a 281 batting average, 316 home runs. He won a World Series with the St. Louis Cardinals on top of that, 8 Gold Gloves. And then coming out of Philly, he was, one of the best young players in baseball. You could have traded almost anybody for him, right? Obviously, his career didn't pan out perfectly because of injuries, but Scott Rowland still deserves to be in a Hall of Fame. But let me know what you guys think. Below, Alan Landsman is in the building. Alan, how we doing? But let me know what you guys think about Jeff Kent, because Jeff Kent is another guy that I think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It's been crowded the past few years when it comes to the Hall of Fame voting, but Jeff Kent, if you look at Jeff Kent's stats, as a second baseman. Just put it right there as a second baseman, not known for power and stuff. Jeff Kent had a stretch of, hold on, let me pull it up right now. When it comes to home runs, he had a stretch from 1997 to 2005, 30 plus home runs. From 1997 to 2002, my apologies, 30 plus home runs, 100 plus RBIs, being the protection for Barry Bonds and that lineup in San Francisco. Yes, when he went to Houston and the Dodgers, he wasn't the same, but still, I'm looking at it right here, 29 home runs, 31, 23, 33, 22, 37, 22, 27, and 29. Had a stretch of RBIs, 121, 128, 101, 125, 106, 108, 93, 107, 105. So he had a stretch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 seasons where 8 of them he had over 100 RBIs. Jeff Kent, in my eyes, definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But the guy that Ivan Manny had posted about earlier, Todd Helton. I understand people want to hate on Todd Helton because they said that he played in Colorado, which helped him out. Even if it did help him out, my man finished with a .316 career batting average, 369 home runs, over 2,500 hits. He had an on-base percentage of .414, an on-base OPS of .953. Now, if you want to say Todd Helton wasn't the best defender at first base, you can have that argument. But from the offensive side of things, Todd Helton, and then also, too, when it comes to Jeff Kent had a 16-year career. Todd Helton, let's see how many years Todd Helton played. Let's see. Todd Helton made his major league debut in 1997 and retired in 2013. Another 16-year career. He drove in 147 runs in the season, 59 doubles, 216 hits, led Major League Baseball in all 3 of those categories. He had a season 42. Well, when he first broke it in 1997, from 1998 on, 25 home runs, then 35, 42, 49, 30, 33, 32. And then in 2005, once the injury bug started coming, 20 home runs. And then after 2005, he never cracked 20 home runs. But his batting average, let's go to his batting average, because he has a career batting average of .316. Let's see what he did hitting-wise. That season when he had 147 home runs, 216 hits, 59 doubles, the man had a batting average of .372. I'm going to say it again. .372 batting average. If it wasn't for the home runs, he should have won the Triple Crown that year. But a .372 batting average since 1998, his second season in the big leagues, he had a batting average of .315, 1999 .320, 2000 .372, 2001 .336, 2002 .329, 2003 a .358 batting average, 2004 .347. Even in 2005, when the power started dipping, he still had a .320 batting average. Todd Helton, for the first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For the first 10 seasons of his career, he hit well over 300. It wasn't until 2008 where he hit 264 where he broke that stretch. But then in 2009, he had a .325 batting average. And then in 2010, 256. 2011, a .302 batting average. In the last 2 seasons, you could say injuries, part-time playing, he had a .238 batting average and a .249 batting average. So out of the 16 years he was in the major leagues, he only had 3 seasons when he batted under 300. That's impressive. If that's not a Hall of Fame, I don't know what a Hall of Fame is. Let me go to the chat because I see a few more people just came into the chat. My man Carlos with a K is in the building. Carlos, what you doing, my guy? Infamous New King is in the building. My guy, what it up? FJ, I agree Rollins belong, but his career is similar to Mattingly. Why isn't he in? Jeff Kent definitely belongs too. I agree with you right there, but the difference is Scott Rowland played a few extra seasons, right? In my eyes, Don Mattingly, Hall of Famer. 100% a Hall of Famer. There was a stretch of like 5 seasons where arguably Don Mattingly was the best hitter in Major League Baseball for those 5 seasons, right? But Don Mattingly definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. I understand longevity, and people want to argue longevity, but there's some guys that don't belong in the Hall of Fame, but they had the longevity, right? We need to see some guys that belong in the Hall of Fame but couldn't crack the longevity because of injuries. It's not Don Mattingly's fault that his back gave out on him. Let's analyze the time that he was in the major league, compare it to every other player that was around him. And if you do that, you will come to the conclusion that Don Mattingly was one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball at the time he was in the big leagues. My man NYY News, Ruben is in the building. Ruben, how you doing, brother? He said Helton is a Hall of Famer. His away numbers show he was a very good hitter, even with the Coors Field hangover effect. Absolutely. Where it took them time to adjust on road trips due to the breaking balls break at the sea level. 100% Ruben. 100% Ruben. You can't argue against that, bro. Cannot argue against that. He said, Hector, my guy, how you doing? I'm doing good, Ruben. Happy to be here on this Thursday. Like I said, the open panel will be at 11:30. That way we can have the conversation about the Hall of Fame. My man Ivan Manning says Andrew Jones is very deserving of a Hall of Fame. He definitely is. When it comes to his gold gloves, how many gold gloves did he win in a row? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now. But Andrew Jones, his power numbers, his defensive numbers, probably one of the best defensive center fielders for a stretch of period of time. I understand, not far of the time, but not keeping his body in shape caught up to him. There you go. 10 gold gloves. 10 gold gloves from Andrew Jones. And be on the lookout because his son Drew Jones, who got drafted by the Diamondbacks, he's going to be a star. My man Tyler Tabbitt is in the building. Tyler, hope all is well, baby. Hope all is well. But with the Hall of Fame, we're going to need to start having conversations about guys that people say don't belong in the Hall of Fame. And I get it. The whole steroid cloud hanging over them. I understand that. I get that. Manny Ramirez, Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Roger Clemens in the PED use. I understand that. I get it. But from the other perspective, they still have to go out there and perform, right? They definitely still have to go out there and perform. And like my man Jigga Man said, we got the super chats now. That's a fact. We were able to upgrade ourselves, and now we accept super chats. Just want to shout out everybody. A great way to support the channel is by putting the super chat down below. Everybody know you don't need to put a super chat in order for me to answer one of your questions. Everybody know I answer everybody questions no matter what. I always love to highlight anyone no matter what. But to support the show and to support, the bills that need to be paid, you could send a super chat if you like to. Is you don't have to, but just want to let you guys know the super chats are in the building. Helton won 3 gold gloves, and Hector read my other comment about hitting 300 on the road. Yeah, 100%, 300 hitter on the road. That's what he said. When you look up Todd Helton's number, when you look up his numbers in his career, he only had 3 major league seasons when he batted under 300. 2 of those seasons were his last 2. So Todd Helton was a phenomenal hitter at Coors Field and away. A consistent over 300 hitter, well over 300. If you want to say he was a consistent 330 hitter, you could say he was a consistent 330 hitter. Stop the hate. But going back to what I was talking about when it comes to the PED uses with the Hall of Fame, and I get it. Bud Selig was a commissioner at the time, and he's in the Hall of Fame. They allowed Major League Baseball to grow when it comes to fandom, when it comes to as a corporation, as a business. They were able to grow because of the steroid guys in the 90s, because of Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, and so on and so on and so on. Major League Baseball came back after the strike. People were done with baseball because of the strike. And what revitalized Major League Baseball was the PED guys, was the home run guys. Now I get it. You may not like it because, it's tainted. Records are tainted. Players still have to go out there and perform on the field, right? I've said this before. Maybe if anyone has any articles that they can link to me, link them to me. But as of right now, I haven't found not one peer-reviewed source, not one peer-reviewed article, no scientific journal that points to the fact that steroids or PEDs improves your hand-to-eye coordination. There is not one study out there that proves that. Now, like I said, if somebody has a study that I wasn't able to find, link it to me. That way I can educate myself and we can have the conversation about it. But as of now, I haven't found not one article out there that points to PEDs and steroids improving your hand-to-eye coordination. Now, people want to say, listen, it's just common sense. You get stronger, then your arms get faster, you could swing faster, whatever. That doesn't affect your eyeballs, right? Steroids and PEDs do not affect if you can see better. If the neurons in your brain, right, once you recognize something, the neurons, it doesn't speed the neurons up to tell your arms to swing faster, right? But like I said, if there's something out there that somebody has found, link it to me. I don't mind reading stuff, educating myself on certain things. That way we can have the conversation about it. But we'll put the link in the chat at 11:30 and we can have the conversation. Adam Landsman, he proposed something. They should have 2 sections in the Hall of Fame for guys that took PEDs and those who bet on games. I don't argue against that whatsoever. And that's another thing. Pete Rose definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. 100% belongs in the Hall of Fame. You want to say Pete Rose, he desecrated the game by betting on it? Listen, Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb is in the Hall of Fame. Ty Cobb is a literal, Nazi. So if Ty Cobb is in the Hall of Fame, why isn't Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? Right? Pete Rose betting on a few games is not as bad as the stuff that Ty Cobb said back in the day, right? It was a crazy time in the 50s. Crazy. 50s, 40s, 30s, however you want to put it. But no, like Ruben said, the hand-to-eye coordination is not helped by roids. No, not whatsoever. Not whatsoever. Now, if you want to say HGH, human growth hormones, right? It helps you recover faster, like that little Gatorade boost, like the stamina bar in video games. It helps you recover faster from injuries and on your day-to-day basis. You can have that argument that it's a stamina booster, right? For HGH, human growth hormones, right? You can have that argument. But like I said, like Ruben has pointed out, hand-to-eye coordination is not helped by steroids, PEDs, or any type of HGH that is out there. Is none. Let me see what else we got in the chat. FJ said, after the Mitchell report, Selig was told by Mitchell that it would be best to let it go and start fresh. Selig decided to punish selected players. Absolutely. 100%. Selected players. FJ, it wasn't like when it comes to the whole congressional meeting, that the only reason that happened is because the people who were blamed for it started speaking out. Like the staff workers started speaking out in major league clubhouses. That's the only reason why we had the congressional hearing and everything. If it wasn't for that, if Major League Baseball would have just tried to do their best to swipe it under the rug or just let it go like Mitchell said, we would have never had that issue. But because Bug Selig wanted to punish guys that he felt he didn't like or he felt didn't represent the game the right way, you're in this whole mess right now. I get it. The whole debacle with A-Rod, I understand that. The whole debacle with A-Rod, and did he do it? Yes, I did it. No, I didn't. Going on Mike Francesa's show with guys, that was a fun time to be alive. Let's not joke about it. Let's not beat around the bush. That A-Rod fiasco, that was fun to watch. As a Yankee fan, it was a bit disheartening and it kind of hit you in the stomach. But watching that whole fiasco, that circus show, it was entertaining. And this was the days before social media wasn't what it was right now, right? We had YouTube and stuff. You could go to YouTube to watch it. But if you were listening to Mike Francesa or if you were watching the simulcast on Yes of Mike Francesa, that was like a pay-per-view event. Get your popcorn, get ready for a show, because A-Rod coming on the Mike Francesa show, lying to Mike Francesa, saying no, 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 every question, no. And then literally changing his answer the next day. Like literally the next day. Hold on, let me check the chat right here. Like Alan said, Pettit admitted to using it to help his recovery time. Absolutely. Ivan Manning, even with all the PED use, players like Jeter or Tony Gwynn should be held even in a higher regard. He was elite even against people that were cheating. Yeah. Same thing like Mike Mussina. Mike Mussina, that little, what is it? What was it? 5'10, 6 feet, 180-pound frame, 70-pound frame. Another guy that used his ability, maximize the best of it. Wasn't a PED guy, right? When it comes to Mike Mussina, being a pitcher that took the craft of fielding very important and worked on his fielding as much as he can. How many Gold Gloves did Mike Mussina win in a row? Was it like 6, 7, or 8 or something like that? But Mike Mussina, another guy that should be held in a higher regards because of the no steroids. 100%, Manny. Carlos said, I was told that roids help with injuries, not getting hurt as fast and fast recovery, just like physical improvement. If you're blind, when it comes to getting hurt, it's the other way around, Carlos. Because you have all these chemicals in your body. That's why people, if you look at Fernando Tatis, that's why people like to say Fernando Tatis actually was using steroids or some form of PEDs because of his injuries, right? You're more likely to get injured while taking a PED, well, whatever type of steroid or HGH, because you're exerting your muscles at a chemical level, right? You're overextending them at a chemical level, but it does help you with the recovery time. The recovery time is important, right? Like I said, the day-to-day stamina thing, it's helped by PEDs and steroids. You could say that HGH definitely gives you a stamina boost. You could definitely say that, right? But like I said, the hand-to-eye coordination, I haven't seen that one article about it. TC still says the Hall of Fame is tainted now. Not sure if these players even care anymore. I would say, yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't that integrity argument. Like I said, you got some nasty individuals that are in the Hall of Fame in baseball, NBA, and the NFL. Having a few guys in there who took steroids or PED, I don't think it would be as bad. I get it, the integrity of the game. But hey, these records are going to be here. They're not going to change. No one's going to just remove these players from the records book. So if they're in the record books, why not have them in the Hall of Fame, especially if their numbers show that they're deserving for the Hall of Fame, right? Everybody want to talk about Barry Bonds. You could say that Barry Bonds, or people hint and say that Barry Bonds started taking steroids his second year or his third year in San Francisco. Cool. Before Barry Bonds left Pittsburgh and went to San Francisco, if you looked at his numbers, in my eyes, he was already a Hall of Famer. I think it was 300 stolen bases, 300 career home runs, or 400 career stolen bases, 400 career home runs, something like that. Barry Bonds was already on the trajectory of being in the Hall of Fame before even going to San Francisco and rolling up. I understand the argument. I do understand the argument of why not to have him in the Hall of Fame. I get that. But like I said, there hasn't been not one article that points to steroids, PEDs, or HGH, whatever you want to put it, improving your hand-to-eye coordination. See what else we got in here. LI Yankee King Andy Pettit should be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt. That's a 50-50, LI. That's a 50-50, LI. You look at his ERA, he has a career like 3.80 ERA. He had a few seasons of having an ERA over 4. Never was the number 1 pitcher on a rotation or whatever staff he was on. He was always the number 2, maybe number 3 pitcher on that staff. Never had any seasons that were, that blew your socks off when it comes to the numbers. I don't even think Andy Pettit won 20 games in a season. I may be mistaken. If he has, please put it in the chat. Let me know. We got my man Pete Simonetti. Pete, how you doing? He said, "Is this the ghost Hector I've heard so much about?" No, you the GOAT, baby. You the GOAT, my guy. FJ said, I long for the day when cheating meant using a cork bat. Yeah, or having like a scuff rag in your back pocket so you can scuff the pitch, get a little couple of extra inches. You know what I mean? A little sandpaper, a little spitball action, right? My guys from For the Love of the Game is in the building. Salute, 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 Paul Paul as well. Ellen Hardwell. My guys, Happy New Year's, fellas. Jonathan said, Pettit 120 twice. Okay, cool. TC Stills, Bonds didn't need roids. He was just jealous of Solskjaer and McGuire getting all the hype. Yeah, 100%. Because what? Barry Bonds at that time, if you look at his numbers, he was getting like 30 stolen bases a season, 30 home runs, over 100 RBIs, hitting well over 300. But it's just Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire. Those were the guys that were getting all the praise. Those are guys that was getting all the recognition. You know how they say, ladies, chicks dig the long ball. That's what was happening over there when it comes to those two guys, Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire, right? But Big Mac, the Big Mac land, it's still around in St. Louis. They haven't got rid of the Big Mac land. My man Rashard Thompson is in the building. Rashard Thompson, how you doing? And guys, like I said, the super chat is live in effect now. The super chat is live in effect, and we got our first super chat in the building. My guy Clay, LFG, let's go. Clay, what it do, baby? Can't wait for that April 1st game, bro. We're going to be at Yankee Stadium, full effect. NYY News TV, KOD Media. We are in the building. But there's other guys that are deserving of the Hall of Fame that haven't been given the accolades or haven't been given the votes. What do you guys think about Bernie Williams? Because I'm not getting off of this argument. Bernie Williams definitely is a Hall of Famer. Jacob Petruzzi's in the building. Jacob, how you doing? Infamous New King, Andy Pettit's stare down and pickoff move was Hall of Fame quality. You can't argue against that. His pickoff move, legendary. You could go on YouTube right now. I was literally watching a couple of days ago. It's funny you bring it up, Infamous. I was watching a couple of days ago of like pickoff moves, Major League pickoff moves, and Andy Pettit was probably one of the best pickoff moves that we've seen in our generation. Ivan Manny, best commercial ever. Chicks dig the long ball. You can't argue against that, baby. Oh, appreciate you, Pete. Appreciate you, Pete. Oh, we got the super chats now. My guys. Yeah, that's right, Pete. We stepping on up, baby. You feel me? TC Stills, Bernie, no doubt a Hall of Famer. 100%, bro. If you look at Bernie Williams' stats, just off of the postseason alone, Bernie Williams, 300 batting average. Bernie Williams, 20 home runs. Bernie Williams, 90 RBIs. The numbers that Bernie Williams put up in the postseason are equivalent to a player's regular season numbers. I'm saying that again. The numbers that Bernie Williams put up during the postseason are on par with an all-star major league player. Look at the numbers. 300 batting average, 20 home runs, 90 RBIs. Bernie Williams is third, if not fourth, when it comes to postseason home runs. I think Manny Ramirez is number one. Derek Jeter is number two. There may be one person at number three, but then it is Bernie Williams. You can't argue against Bernie Williams and what he has done in the postseason. Then when you look at his regular season numbers, over 2,500 hits, Gold Gloves, a batting title in the 90s, being able to stand out ahead of all those steroid guys. Yes, after he signed that extension, Bernie Williams started to decline. I get that. I understand that. But his longevity, Bernie Williams debuted at 1991, 1990, and lasted all the way to 2006. If it wasn't for the Yankees wanting to move off of Bernie Williams and go get somebody else, Bernie Williams could have played another 2, maybe 3 seasons. He got contract offers from the Kansas City Royals, from the Oakland A's, but Bernie Williams said he never wanted to see himself in any other uniform but the Yankees. Definitely deserving of a Hall of Fame. The big Japple is in the building. Japple, how you doing, player? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Like I said, in a couple minutes, I'll throw the link in the chat. That way we can have the little open panel, have some conversations about the Hall of Fame. My guy Clay said Bernie is an incredible guy. Worked with him a couple of times back in my previous life, pre-KOD. he is a great guy to have a conversation with. Clay, it was at that Tuzio event that was during the summertime. Jigga Man hooked me up. I was able to go and see Bernie Williams and Tiki Barber having that conversation at the Tuzio event. But Bernie, phenomenal guy. One of the questions that I asked him, obviously being Puerto Rican, had to ask him about food. Because I'm a hungry individual myself. But he said when he first came over to the States, when he first got signed by the Yankees, one of the things that he missed was his home cooking. And one of the things that he missed was a dish that his father used to make was rice, beans, and shrimp, right? That's the dish that he missed. Shrimp guisado is the name of the dish. And that's what he missed when he first came over to the States. And if you think about it, it's a big culture shock coming over from PR, DR, wherever you're from to the States, and they throw you in the middle of Kansas, wherever you are, playing low ball, rookie ball, however it is. It's a bit of a culture shock, honestly. TC still said Bernie was clutch. A lot of hustle. Guys need to take notes. Today guys definitely need to take notes. Gleyber Torres definitely need to take notes when it comes to hustling, because that's one player that he tries to lollygag his entire way up the first baseline. Ivan Manny said Bernie did that while being laid back and playing the guitar. Yeah. I wish we were able to see footage of inside of Yankee Stadium. Because there's a few footage out there. I'm gonna change my words up. There's some footage out there, but I would like to see more footage of Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, who was it? David Wells, jamming it up together inside of Yankee Stadium. Like I said, there's some footage out there. I would like to see more. Right, of like I said, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, and David Wells, the three amigos, jamming it out in Yankee Stadium. But I'm gonna put the link in the chat for the open panel. You guys are more than welcome to come up. Like I said, the ground rules. Hold on, because this is having ground rules for the open panel. Respect everyone's opinion when they come up here. Please respect the YouTube terms of service. We just got the super chats put on. I don't want to get our super chats turned off. So as long as everybody can respect the terms and services, if somebody's in the middle of giving a take, allow them to finish giving their take before you chime in, because you would get the same courtesy. You'll be able to, finish your take as well. My man Dane Huber's in the building. Dane, what it do, my guy? Dane, if you're free to jump on for the open panel, Dane, I would love to have a conversation with you. If not, Dane, we have to communicate on the outside and the back spaces, because I would love to have you on the show, bro, to break down some of these prospects. I have a friend named Nithin Ramachandra who works with the RNN Hour. He actually covers the Somerset Patriots. Like to connect you guys that we can have a conversation. But I got a few people backstage. My brother TC Stills is in the building. TC Stills, what it do, player?
What up? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. But let's continue the convo we was having about the Hall of Fame, bro. Give me your take on the Hall of Fame as I bring a couple of more people in.
As far as who should be in and who shouldn't, or
the process right now of what's going on with the Hall of Fame, people are saying that it's watered down. What's your opinions when it comes to the Hall of Fame? Do you think it's a situation of, the qualifications have been raised or have been lowered for the standards? What's your thoughts?
I think the qualifications are all over the place, and the some of these sports writers and their voting, some of them should be take their votes away. It just doesn't make any sense. But the whole steroid issue, I mean, eventually I think they're going to have to drop that. They're going to have to let some people like A-Rod and Sammy Sosa and McGuire and Barry Bonds. Those guys got to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean,
yeah,
like we were saying, without the steroids, you still got to hit a ball. You still got to last a season. I mean, these guys were good hitters. It helps with the home runs, but that doesn't make a Hall of Famer. I mean, you still there's a lot to go along with it.
You still got to perform, like we said. You still got to go on the field, and you still got to perform. I got a couple more people I'm bringing in. Ivan Manny's in the building. Ivan, what it do, baby?
How are you guys?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. Hope all good with you. Good morning. But same question going your way, bro. What's your thought of the Hall of Fame and everything that's being talked about right now? It's being a hot issue right now in Major League Baseball.
The game's changed quite a bit, so I think some numbers are just not obtainable. You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, eventually they're going to have to let some of these guys in for sure, because the generation watched those players be great, and then we just push it to the side and say, nah, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Eventually all those guys or a good portion of those guys will have to come in. And I think once baseball lets Barry Bonds in, once they let Roger Clemens in, regardless of what kind of people they were or how the media perceives them, I think it'll give the Hall of Fame more credibility again, because a lot of people are like, oh, come on, I watched this guy do things that nobody's ever done, and they're not in.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, honestly, I think it's more of the older or the elder generation that feels this type of way. Guys that's like 80, 90 years old that may have this type of trepidation towards Bonds and some of these PED guys. But as the time go on, like you said, Ivan, sooner or later they're gonna have to be voted in, right? And I want it to be sooner rather than later. I don't want us to get to a situation, knock on wood, Ivan and TC, that we get to a point where Bonds, something happens to Bonds, right? And God forbid he passes away. I don't want to get to a point that these players pass away and then they're acknowledged for what they did in the game. I don't want that to happen. I want them to be recognized sooner rather than later, before anything happens. You don't know, you know, tomorrow you could step on a nail and get gangrene, and then your leg get cut off. I don't want anything to happen before any of these guys get recognized. But before we continue, I got a couple more people backstage. I got Li Yankee King is in the building. Li, and he got his Yankee jersey on. That's what I'm talking about. Li, who you got on? Who you wearing right now? I know that's the official one with the check. Who you wearing, baby?
Just me. Just my last name.
Oh, okay. Heard you. Copy. Yeah. Copy. No. What number? Hold on. Let me guess. Wrestling number 316. No. What number you got back there?
What's your guess?
What guess? We're taking guess. What number you think Li's wearing, TC?
Li's wearing Gleyber Torres.
What are you wearing?
What's your guess?
Ivan, what you think? What number you think he's wearing?
Maybe like mine, 42.
Nope, 22.
All right.
Oh, all right. Okay. A little Roger Clemens, Robbie Cano. I see you. But before we continue, we got a couple more people backstage. Tyler Tabbitt is in the building. Tyler, first time on the panel. What it do, brother?
What's up, Tyler?
What up, man?
You good, baby? Good morning. Can you hear us?
How's it going?
Oh, okay, Tyler Karras. All right, Li, same question going your way. Li, when it comes to the Hall of Fame, what's your thoughts? And then throw it over to Tyler. I want to get his thoughts before we continue more on the convo.
Jesus. The Hall of Fame. It is a pure joke that you've had guys on this ballot that are some of the greatest ball players that this game has ever seen, and they're just like, nah. Like Barry Bonds, the greatest player to ever step on a field before PEDs. He was just, oh yeah, Bonds, he's the best player in baseball. And then people started taking steroids, took that away from Bonds. Bonds was, all right, bet. I'm going to take steroids and become a god.
And he definitely did. From his baseball numbers to the size of his head, my man became the only big head on the field. But yeah, I agree with you, Li. When it comes to the Hall of Fame, it started to feel like a lot of these voters are taking stuff personal. Like, honestly, I really want us to find that voter that didn't give Jeter that vote to make him a unanimous Hall of Famer. Like, anyone voting against Derek Jeter, you need to be, like, honestly chained up to a wall and just have tomatoes thrown at you. Honestly, we need to find that guy and let that happen. But Tyler, same question going your way. What's your thoughts on the Hall of Fame and everything that's going on right now, baby? Tyler, you there, bro? All right. I think Tyler's having some technical issues right now. But yeah, let's continue the conversation. The Hall of Fame. Me personally, it is what it is. Like I said, you guys have heard me numerous times saying that I want these guys to be recognized before anything happens. I think it should happen. I'm glad that they have the Veterans Committee that if some of these guys, they fall through the crack, they get picked up later on down the line. Like another player that I think should be in the Hall of Fame, and he didn't even get not even one vote when he was up there, was Carlos Delgado. I think Carlos Delgado not being in the Hall of Fame, if you look at Carlos Delgado's numbers, on his numbers alone, he definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. What's your thoughts on Carlos Delgado, TC Stills, and then throw it over to LI?
Yeah. For that period of time when he was playing, he was a dangerous hitter. Yeah, I mean, he definitely. There's a lot of guys that are like in that category, that could go either way. But I think you bring up a good point. I would put him in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think he was a great hitter.
Yeah, he falls under the radar because he had a few seasons of 40 home runs, 100 plus RBIs, but you fall under the radar or you get forgotten when you have guys that are hitting 45 home runs, 50 home runs that are on PEDs, so you get lost in the shuffle. And Carlos Delgado is one of those victims. Like John Over, I feel, was one of those victims as well, not being able to make it to the All-Star game because of all those guys that was ahead of him and the PED that was attached to them after years later we found out. Ivan, what's your thoughts on Carlos Delgado before we go forward? I'll throw it over to LI afterwards.
Delgado was a beast. He was great. I mean, he was an offensive threat, and he was with Toronto before he was with the Mets, right? Yeah, he was. That guy was
Toronto, Miami,
fabulous. Yeah, he was a good player. He's definitely right there with all those guys that are right on that edge, that the verge of. Should be, but maybe not. I don't know. We were talking about Andy Pettitte before, and I said, take a look at Andy Pettitte and Mike Messina's numbers. They're really, really, really close. But one admitted PEDs, and one was just quiet and went about his business.
Yeah,
and there's several guys that are right on that fringe.
Yeah, and I know, like, some people go to point to the to Carlos Delgado when it comes for him, and it's mixed reports. People say that Carlos Delgado after 2001 and 9/11, he didn't stand for the national anthem because of the war in Iraq. That's not the reason. People need to take that thought, throw it out your head. The reason why Carlos Delgado stopped standing for the national anthem, and I don't like to get, political or whatever, the reason why he did was because of the bombing that was going on in Puerto Rico, the testing that was going on in Vieques, right? If you go to Vieques in Puerto Rico, that is the highest concentration of cancer patients in the U.S. It's in Vieques, and that's related to the military bombing that was going on off of the coast. That's why he was protesting the flag and not wanting to stand up, right? Had nothing to do with the war, had nothing to do with 9/11, right? I understand people, you get in your mixed feeling. I get that. Trust me. Totally get it. I totally respect it. But you have to understand why he was doing it. If you go to Vieques right now, there's literally kids that have no fingers, that have no arms, that literally have respiratory issues. They're born with asthma. You aren't born with asthma. You have to develop asthma as you go on in life. So you got kids that are born. So I'm just stopping right there before I continue. But yeah, Carlos Delgado, in my eyes, definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Li, what's your thoughts on Delgado before we continue, baby?
After looking up a little bit, Delgado, because I see his last season was 09, and I was 10 years old, not really knowing much, try to look up Delgado. These numbers that I'm seeing are, as Pete Simonetti likes to say, numbers. Yeah, he's kind of like on the borderline of getting in, which getting missed.
Oh, I got one more person backstage. Carlos with a K, what it do, baby? But go ahead, Eli. Finish what you were saying.
He has a 40.4 WAR, a career OPS plus of 138, on-base percentage for his career of 386, slugging of 546, 14 stolen bases for a first baseman.
Yeah. He's close to 500 home runs as well, right? If he would have stayed, I think that injury that he got in 2009 really messed him up. It was his Achilles that ruptured on him.
He finished with 473.
Yeah, if his Achilles never ruptured on him, he definitely would have had a couple of more seasons. If they would have had the DH in the National League early on instead of waiting till 2010, the DH is something that should have been in the National League, if you ask me, since the 2000s, if not, sooner than that. Because if you think about it, the DH, it gives major league players an extra few years on their career, right? Automatically, if you have the DH in the National League, you're giving 15 major league players the opportunity to extend their career just because they're hitters, right? So I'm happy that now we have the DH in the National League. But Carlos, I want to get your take on Carlos Delgado in the Hall of Fame before we continue. Carlos, what it do, baby? Good morning. Carlos, can you hear me?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, baby.
Yes, I can hear you.
Copy. Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, I'll be right there, though. All right. Carlos Delgado. I loved him when he was with the Blue Jays. The guy was just killing it, and actually was doing it to us, if anything. Which I mean, I loved him. I love the way that the fact that we was playing so good, but the dude was hitting bombs all over the place in first base. Just like the same way I really disliked Evan Longoria. They were doing pretty much the same thing to us. Carlos Delgado was hitting everything. And at that point, I don't know if I'm mistaken, David Price was right there pitching against us. So and Roy Halladay. So that was actually a phenomenal team. And then they were like doing it to us. They were giving it to us. But when he went to the Mets, then he stepped it down a little bit. He was still a threat. But like I said, with the Blue Jays, he was just actually doing it to us. Like, and I really dislike this dude. And when he was, and then Hall of Fame numbers, I kind of a little odd, on that one, only just because he had this like non-standing, for the anthem and stuff like that. He was actually linked to steroid use and stuff like that at some point, if I'm not mistaken. And that kind of like puts it off, but like we're talking about, it's just like, listen, it's just the eye. If I chatted before, if you're blind and you can see the ball, you can't hit it. So yeah, that's that. That doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be in the Hall of Fame, because like Barry Bonds was a beast. I cannot remember a human being better at hitting than Barry Bonds. Like pretty much all time.
And even after his baseball career was over, and we'll throw it back around the panel, but even after his baseball career was over, when he became a coach in Miami, he is who brought out the best out of Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich says it and always give credit to Barry Bonds to bringing out the best of him. If it wasn't for Barry Bonds being his the batting coach out there, he said that he would have never turned into the hitter that he was when he went to Milwaukee. Right. So the importance of having somebody who is a baseball mind like Barry Bonds, it weighs out anything that you can put out there. Right. His knowledge of the game coming from a baseball family, his godfather is Willie Mays. Like, come on. Like this guy was born to play baseball, and his numbers prove that he belongs in the Hall of Fame, honestly. But hold on, let me just fix this real quick. Let's just go around a little bit because it's 11:47. I got like 13 minutes before I got to dip off. I got to just cut it off early today. But let's get some predictions, right? Because we are literally a few weeks away. Pitchers and catchers report to spring training. I'm super excited about spring training. I can't wait for spring training. I understand the issue in left field. I get it. I understand it. But TC Stills, with what we have right now, with this team, let's get some predictions when it comes to the win-loss record for the Yankees. How many wins or losses you think we're going to have this season? Let's try to break it off right there.
Looking at what we got now, I would say we're guaranteed 90 wins. That's for sure. So anywhere between 90 and 95 wins, I think we're good for that. I'm not worried about what we have right now. I think we'll put it together. This left field, picking up this guy and trading this, I think we'll be fine. Spring training, we've talked about this before. We're going to have a lot of competition. It's going to bring out the best in these guys. I think what we have in-house will be fine. Come, trade deadline, we'll pick whoever we need, and that'll get us, through the rest of the season. But I like our roster right now, especially the pitching. The pitching's going to carry us. So I think we're good.
I'm super excited about this pitching staff. Honestly, I think this is probably like the best pitching staff we had on paper to start a season in the past 20 years. Ivan, I'm going to throw it over to you. What's your thoughts when it comes to predictions for the Yankees? And just like TC still said, and I said with the pitching staff, Is what I said outlandish? Is this probably the best starting rotation we have had as a Yankee team going into the season?
Since the 90s for sure. You know, I think they're going for 102 this year. That's what I think. I think we're going to crush this AL East. Left field is going to happen. The Twins have 9 outfielders, man. That's going to happen. I have a feeling that we're going to get Kepler now more than ever. I mean, especially since they just traded for Michael Taylor, which I don't know why they just keep trading for more outfielders. It's just weird.
Yeah, it really is.
But I think that that's got to happen. And pitching wise, they're definitely right there. You know, whatever we get from Montas is a bonus. I mean, he's a 5th starter. We've been making a big deal about trying to. We got to get a replacement. We don't have to get a replacement. We just got to wait it out. You know, I mean, Sevy and him are going to be injury prone regardless. And I still think the top 3 are just beasts. So 102 wins. That's my prediction.
All right, LI Yankee King. Before you give us your 30 different trade scenarios, right? I just want, I love you. I just want to know your predictions when it comes to the wins, loss, and what we was just talking about, this starting rotation. Do you, in your mind, is this the best starting rotation the Yankees have had over these past 20 years? LI Yankee King, the floor is yours.
Now, since I became a fan in 2004, yes, it's the best rotation on paper. In my fandom, yes, this is the best rotation they've pretty much ever had. Now, Montas is injured, but meh.
Ooh, LI, you good? Frozen? All right, there you go. Stuck in the Matrix.
But
oh man, the Matrix caught him. The Matrix caught him.
Gets stall.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep you back here, LI. When I see that it's good, just give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you back in. But Frankie Montas, TC Stills, Ivan. What are we expecting out of Frankie Montas, if anything? What are you expecting out of Montas?
I expect him to come back probably, let's see, maybe end of May, like early May. Like end of May. I would say end of May. He'll give us 100 innings, maybe 150, between 100 and 125 innings. You know, hey, if he can win, 10 games, that'd be lucky. But the health of the staff is what's gonna determine the season too. Like Severino and Nestor, they gotta be healthy all season, and we know Sevy goes down 2-3 times a season. So, but I think with Schmidt, Herman, Davy Garcia, we got Matt Crook. We could bring up some guys. I think the depth is there, but having faith in Montas being this heavy contributor, I'm not looking like that. Looking forward to that. I doubt it.
Copy. Ella, continue what you were saying because you got like frozen. The Matrix wasn't allowing you to put your trade scenarios, like Rod Thompson said. The Matrix did not allow Ella trade scenarios. Go ahead, Ella.
The offense worries me. The pitching staff, I'm okay with. I'm okay with the pitching staff. Just add a lefty to the bullpen, you're fine. The offense worries me because DJ's toe, Donaldson being Donaldson will just pop as the deep center field. Hicks being Hicks. Judge pretty much has to do carry again. I have a bad feeling that Judge is going to have to hard carry again. Unless we get some youth on this team. And I don't trust that egotistical person in Brian Cashman to not put Isaiah Kiner left at shortstop and have Oswald Peraza and Anthony Volpe down in AAA.
Listen. The way that I'm gonna have Baby Yoda behind you, use all of his magical powers to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm gonna need that not to happen, right? But Manny, I want to throw the same question your way. When it comes to Frankie Montas or Montas, like Michael K likes to say, What are you expecting out of him? What should we expect out of Frankie?
I don't think we'll see him before mid to late June. So I think we're going to get some mixed results. It depends upon it if his shoulder can actually be healthy. He has shown that he can be good, but we've had many guys show that they can be good, especially coming from the A's.
Yeah.
And then they get here and the pressure in New York and everything else squash them like bugs. So again, he's a fifth starter. All we can do is hope for 7 wins, maybe 8 wins.
I think that's the only thing he has going from himself.
A
right?
low 4, maybe. ERA.
Yeah, get like the low expectations, right? Because we're not going into the season banking on Frankie Montas to be the number 1 starter or be the number 2 starter. No, we just want him to be healthy and be that 5th starter. So I think the low expectations is on his side, not being relied on to be a top rotation guy, an innings eater. So all those expectations he don't have to worry about. As long as he just come out there and just pitches, just pitches as an average major league pitcher, that's all we're expecting out of you. But TC Stills, I want to throw this last question around. When it comes to Luis Severino, we all know he is on a contract year. This is last year on contract. If he shows you that he has, like the Big Japo said, expect Sevy to be durable and have a career season this year since he's going into a contract season. If he has an amazing season, finishes in the top 5 in Cy Young voting, are you extending him? And if you are, what are you giving him?
Well, yeah, I certainly expect him to have a breakout season, with the contract, just like Judge did last year. So how old is he? Is he 30 yet?
Right 29, now, I think.
29. Okay.
If he has a season of maybe 15-6 and low 3 ERA.
28. He's 28.
28,
he turns 29 this season. Yeah.
Maybe 3 years, 2 to 3 years, 10 to 15 million. That's it. I'm not going any higher than that.
With the way that pitchers are getting paid right now, 10 to 15 million would be a steal. But if he finishes in the top 5 in Cy Young, you could 20 million is the minimum.
I don't see that though. I don't see him top 3 Cy Young. No.
Okay. Ivan, same question going your way. When it comes to Severino, if he is an all-star, finishes top 3, top 5 when it comes to Cy Young, I know TC Stills don't see that, but hypothetically, what would you be comfortable with giving him? Oh, before we do that, shout out to my guy Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie, what it do? Salute, 3 capital S's. Shout out to the chat. Blessings, health, happiness to all. This is a World Series All-Star playing Plano. Hit those likes. I appreciate you, Jay Boogie, for the super chat. Appreciate you, Bugs. Also, too, guys, if you are fans of the Knicks, this Monday, Knicks Morning Brew, Jay Boogie will be in full effect. Have a whole interview with Jay Boogie, a whole setup for Jay Boogie. So I appreciate you guys if you guys tune over for Knicks Morning Brew on Monday coming up. But Ivan, same question going your way, brother.
Sevy all depends upon health. The Yankees don't have anything to lose. They should just take the gloves off. Don't limit his innings or anything else. Let him go. If he's healthy, let him go. I think he has the skill to be I think he has the skill to be the best pitcher on the staff, to be honest. It's just about health. If he finishes low ERA, low 3s, 15 wins, 14 wins, I could easily see them re-signing him, or at least wanting to re-sign him for 4 years, 20 plus, But the problem is that he's had a lot of arbitration and being held back by things. He might feel slighted by the Yankees and how they've controlled and managed him over the years. So I'm not so sure he'd want to re-sign here. Let's hope he does. Let's hope he has a great season. That's where I'm banking my 102 wins on, is him coming out like a beast. So that's all I can give you with that. I think he's a great player.
Eli, same question going your way when it comes to Severino, and I want to just throw one more thing out there about Sevi before we dip out. But Eli, same question. If Sevi has a big year, what are you comfortable with giving him?
Now I know Sevy's going to have a big year.
You spoke to him? You spoke to him already?
No, I just have a gut feeling. He's literally my favorite pitcher on the staff.
Copy.
And even before spring training, I'd be comfortable offering Sevy 7 years, 140 million, 20 mil per year. Get that steal. That'd be a steal for Severino. And then he has a career year. It's like, yep, that's why I signed him before spring training.
You know, hopefully, you know, when it comes to Severino, if he has a big year, and check this out, just hear me out when I say this. If he has a big year, that 26 million coming off of the books for Donaldson, you could just send that to Severino's way, right? You don't have to worry about, you know, hurting us payroll, because that 26 million that Donaldson, you know, his contract gives up will give us the money to spend for Luis Severino. On top of that, Severino is making, I think about like he's making 15 million already. So if you take the 15 million he's making from this season, add that to the 26 million from Josh Donaldson, that's about 40 something million dollars you got to play with. So you could give Severino or offer Severino. So it kind of looks like it is in our favor. If he was to have the big year and command that big money, we would have the ability to re-sign him, right? One thing about Severino that I want to propose to you guys, and let me know what you think about this before we dip out. Do you guys remember in 2017, for that first half of the season, people were arguing who's the better pitcher, Jacob deGrom or Luis Severino? Luis Severino was pitching to an ERA under 2 for that first half of the season. What people don't talk about that season, that's the same season the Houston Astros started banging the trash can. Severino, he had his worst start after the first half of the season in Houston when they weren't swinging at his slider that was nasty. Knowing that the slider was nasty, Severino started overexerting himself, just throwing the fastball in there 100 miles per hour. And I feel that's when Severino got hurt. If you look back to that game, knowing they're not going to bite on your slider, you're going to overexert yourself with your fastball. And after that game in Houston, Severino was never the same that season. What's your take on that, TC Stills? And let's throw it around.
I totally agree. Yeah, he was one of the best pitchers in his early season, 2017, 18, and he was almost unhittable for, you know, a certain time. And it's just, he got hurt, like you brought up. You know, he was overexerting, and his health has always been an issue. He's not been healthy, but he's been a terrific pitcher. I've always loved watching Severino's games. When he's healthy, he's great. But like Eli said, I would not go 7 years. That's way too long.
Yeah.
3 to 4 in the 20 mil range would be good, but yes, I'm hoping that Severino is that same pitcher. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, hold on. Before I throw it over to Ivan to get his take on what I just said, Carlos, I see you're backstage, but it keeps showing that you're freezing. Carlos, if you can, refresh it and then come back, and I'll try to see if I can get you on the panel before we dip out, because it has the question mark. On my side, it has a question mark showing that you're trying to refresh. Ivan, same thing going your way. What's your thoughts on what I said about Severino before we dip out?
I think that was a really sharp point. I mean, it could be exactly that game that we could pin it to. I mean, really. And he hasn't been right since, because he's been injury prone every year. We're like expecting him to be, when's he going down? You know?
Yeah.
He's a great talent. He's a great talent. And I really hope that he has, like, it seems like all the Yankees do in their walk here. DJ did, Judge did. He's going to give us a beast year where we're going to go, we need that guy. We need that guy. 7 years? That's scary as hell. I couldn't do that. I'm sorry. He's got to walk, man. Just because of that injury history. And they've never given out a 7-year contract to a guy that wasn't, Garrett Cole, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years, probably 4, maybe 5, 22, 26 million. And that's if he has that beast year. It's all about health. The whole team, it's all about health.
Yeah,
they gave us that great first half last year because the team was really healthy. Let's just hope that everybody stays healthy this year. That's it.
Yeah. If you were in CC or Garrett Cole, you ain't getting a 7-year deal. Even Carlos Rodon, he was capped, but he wasn't even at 7 years.
Yeah.
But Li, before we dip out, what's your thoughts on what I said about Severino before we go, baby?
Now Severino, God, I forgot what you said
about his injury in 2017.
Oh yeah, sorry, ADHD. Shiny.
Hey, it's cool, bro. We same thing. We be disassociating. I get it, bro. Trust me.
But that injury in 2017, that first half of 2017 is what got him that 4-year, $40 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
That injury is what screwed him up. 100%. I agree with that. You overexert with the fastball, you're throwing that thing like 100 miles an hour, 98, 100. That is going to mess your arm up.
Mm-hmm.
Leading with the elbow.
Yeah. 100%. Can't disagree on that. Fellas, a great open panel. Appreciate you guys. TC Stills, Ivan Manny, Li Yankee King. You guys know that you guys open door policy. Whenever the open panel's here, you guys are more than welcome to come on. Any last words before we dip out? TC, Ivan, or Li, anything else we want to say?
Let's go. I'm ready for the season to start. Let's go.
Less than 30 days till we see some swinging, baby.
That's right, baby. That's right, baby. Also, as well, in the description is the Etsy store that I got. We got these new Aaron Judge t-shirts that we will be putting on the site. So if you guys want to order your Aaron Judge t-shirt before the season start, you can order your Aaron Judge t-shirt. I was trying to go with like a 1990 vintage old school type of baseball t-shirt for back in the days. If you guys remember those old school Subway Series type of joints.
I like that.
Yeah. But appreciate Li. Any last words before we dip out, baby?
Everybody is sleeping on Gleyber Torres.
If that isn't the most Li take, then I don't know what is. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Carlos, appreciate you for jumping on the panel as well. Everybody who was in the chat, the super chats as well, because the super chats was in effect for the channel. Appreciate everybody for supporting. If you can, hit that like button for your boys, because your boys is here because the like buttons is hit. But like always, peace, salutation. Oh, wait. Hold on, wait. Carlos, you there? You good? You good now? It's still frozen, bro. Oh, man. Well, technology is crazy. Hopefully, we can fix that up from next week. That way we can have Carlos on the panel, because I really love to get Carlos' insight. But like always, guys, peace, salutations, and let's go Yankees. Deuces. Peace.